I've generated over 100 million views on social media, but I just want to give you like the timeline, everything I've posted, the brands I've worked with, what I've learned from having done this, and then what I'm doing now and what I would encourage, other brands or personal brands to do based on what I've learned. I'm working with 4 different businesses right now on their content, which isn't a lot, but I think what I've learned and what I'm doing with these businesses, maybe it can help somebody with their own brand. That's my goal, at least, is that this can help you, make better content, make better videos. So let's get into the timeline. By the way, I'm at my sister's house. They're big into plants here, which is awesome. But started making videos when I was in high school. I was like 16, bro, just ripping on my iPhone 6. I was wanting to do YouTube for a living. And I was honestly like embarrassed of these videos at first. I thought people would think they were cringe. I didn't want anyone to see them. This was me as a sophomore in high school making content. I'm 25 now, so this was me at I think 16. I've been doing this for like nine years. I had like a couple hundred subscribers, and these videos weren't really doing anything crazy until I started to make content on TikTok. So skip ahead a few years. This is after I graduated. Now I'm 19, and I just started making daily vlogs on TikTok. I made 2 or 3 different accounts. My main one had like 450K at the peak. I grew another one to like 200K, and I was really just messing around, bro, making like funny videos. I was just really trying to entertain people. So I'm doing YouTube, I'm doing TikTok. I have like a decent following. At this point, it just kind of started to feel like a job though, and I didn't want to force the content because I wanted it to all be fun. So I wanted to start a business. So I'm buying a coaching program to start a business, and on the call, I pitch him on doing his social media because he had like 300 subscribers on YouTube. He wasn't doing any short form. So I managed his brand for like 3 years. I helped him get to like 25K on YouTube, grow his TikTok, and he has a coaching offer. The organic content that we made in those 3 years made him about 3.5 million in revenue. And I want to do like an interview with him, a case study, so I'm not just like bullshitting you. I worked with him for 3 years. Eventually, I wanted to make my own videos again, but still work with brands. So I started my own brand, Better Videos, and I start telling the stories behind businesses. So I did the story of my buddy's gym, and right now I'm working on the story of Skyline Restaurant, which is a super old diner in my city. I'm making a documentary for them. That video will be out soon. But I think I realized, like, dude, not only do I want to, make documentaries in these short films, I think a brand story, whether it's like a brick and mortar or a personal brand, like your story is really what people connect with the most. And I want to help brands be able to express their story, be able to express themselves authentically in order to grow their business. Because I think that's really the best content that you can have is your story. Like that's what people are going to feel the most emotionally connected to. So on top of the films that I'm doing, I'm working with 2 other personal brands right now, and I'm helping a Google Ads agency make some content as well. I've been working on the 2 personal brands for like 2 months now, and we've generated, I don't know, I'll put it up on the screen like how the accounts are doing in the last couple months. But that's basically where I'm at. I was making YouTube videos, kind of messing around. I wanted to be a YouTuber, and then eventually it felt like I was forcing it. So instead, I just took my skill of content and started working for someone's brand, helping them, and did pretty well for them, and then wanted to eventually start my own business, making content for people. And that's where I am now, doing films and helping other personal brands just make better videos. Like, I think the biggest thing that I want to do is like, I want brands that I work with to be genuinely like proud of what they put out. It's so easy to be like, content is just marketing and what's going to get the most views so we can get the most sales. But I don't know, like I remember making videos and being like, dude, I'm genuinely so proud of this video. Like, even if it was like some goofy ass shit, like me and my homies like putting a swimming pool in the back of a U-Haul, going to post a video and be like, dude, I'm proud of this, and that's how you should feel about your product. Like you should genuinely be proud of what you've done and excited to share it. And I think that same emotion that you have about your product, you should have about your content. Just as stoked as you are about what you've built as a business owner, you should be just as excited about the videos you're making, because both of the things have the same emotion. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my main goal is, with the people I work with, is to not only communicate the brands as authentically as possible, but to give their audience the same emotion that the business owner or the brand owner had at one point, when they were like so proud of themselves for having built what they did, because they really set out to do something, you know what I'm saying? And when they got that thing, that feeling is what people should feel like. That should be their first impression of you. And then when you have your story in your content and they can go back and see your transformation and your journey, that's when people really become connected with you. I do think that's the most important thing in your content, is how emotionally invested you can get your audience into your journey. Because if you can get them more invested in your actual story than your product itself, it's like you will have infinite leverage as a brand. And I saw that when I made this film, the first story film that I did for this boxing gym, my buddy's boxing gym. He was like, dude, when our guys see that, like, they're so proud to actually go here. And same with the first person that I worked with, his name is Nick, but same with Nick's content. When I was managing his content for 3 years, once he started to open up about his personal life, about his journey, like the more vulnerable he became with his audience, the more people could connect with him. And the more people connect with you and your story, the more they associate your process as their solution, because they've been through something so similar. So whether it's a personal brand or it's like a brick and mortar, you know, a physical location, I think being vulnerable in your content and always prioritizing the relationship in a way that's like, how can I serve this? How can I deepen the trust between us? How can I like open up to you, tell you what I've gone through, like what I've learned, share my values, my morals, like my lessons, for you to better understand me? That's what's gonna connect us more. And that's like really the whole point, you know. Obviously, like, yes, it's marketing and the point is sales. Like, sure, yeah, you're making content to like grow your business, but ultimately whatever emotion that you sell as a business owner, whatever transformation that you give to people with your service or your product, they should feel that same thing when they watch your content, because they can see your story and see how that emotion came to be, like through your journey, if that makes sense. That's gonna build such a strong connection. But that's kind of how I see it. This is what I've learned from, you know, everything I've done and generating 100 million views with social media so far up to this point. 5 key things I wrote down. First, consistency over everything. And I say that because at the end of the day, consistency equals more data. Think about like anything. You want to get better at content. You want to, you know, have it convert more, build a better relationship with your audience. It's like anything, like playing basketball or shooting hoops, for example. 1, you have to take more shots, but 2, you have to like film yourself shooting so you know exactly like what to fix in your shot. So it's not just about more reps, it's about knowing what kind of reps to do more of. And the more consistent you are with content, the more data you have. So post every single day, like post every single day. That's the number one thing I think I have learned. The more consistent you are, the more data you have. Which brings me to my second point, which is you need to know how to actually read the data, because it will tell you, like your audience will literally tell you, I'm interested in this, I'm not interested in this, based on how it performs. So just breaking everything down, like how long was the video? What did I talk about? What format of the video was it? What was the hook? What emotion was I trying to portray? Like what was the goal of the video before I even started filming it? Was it a conversion, or like was I trying to educate, or was I trying to inspire? Or how good was the engagement? How many likes did this one get, or comments, or saves, or shares? Don't just be shooting, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, like you shoot to score. There has to be like something you're going for every time. What's the point of filming yourself shoot if you're not even like shooting to score? Because it's like, wait, what am I like looking at my technique for if I'm not even trying to make the basket? So be consistent and have goals for each video, and then know how to read the data to get closer to those goals to make your content better. The third thing I wrote down is you should never try to go viral. And what I mean by that is when you're just trying to go viral, you are not serving your audience. You are not bettering the relationship you have with your audience. You're doing that for your own benefit, because you're thinking like, oh, how can I essentially just get more views to get more clients? But it's not about that. It's a relationship thing. You always have to prioritize them. Like, is this video good for them? Are they gonna come back? Are they gonna like know me better and feel better about my brand after watching this? Or am I just like wanting to get more followers or views? Trying to go viral is also just like super unreliable. Like, you know, you can obviously like study the algorithm. But trying to do that every single time is like not a strategy that's gonna get you anything consistent. It's also not gonna build like a real connection with anybody. I think there's a time and a place where you can, like, if there's something that's trending, like a sound, or like, you can apply it and you can make it unique to you for sure, and that doesn't hurt, especially because like trends are so easy to recreate. But don't rely on this. Make sure you're always prioritizing your audience. You're always wanting to do what's best for them. It also just makes you a commodity to only post trends. Everyone can do that, no matter what type of business you have. If like you're only doing trends, one, you have to rely on that. Two, anyone can do that. There are certain things that only you can talk about, you know, because only you have experienced those things. It's your story. That's what people really need to connect with you over. I don't know, I always think like there's this bagel shop that I used to go to when I was a kid, and I knew the owner. My buddy's mom was friends with the owner. I like knew a bit about him. When you know somebody's business, like what they're in it for, like their journey, how they started, it's like, bro, you're just more inclined to like want to support them. And it's the same thing online. Like that's what you have to do in your content to build that kind of relationship with your audience, so they really know you. You know, like they should not be perceiving you through what you have. They should be perceiving you through your personality, your values, your mindset, your story, your journey. Think about like a friend, bro. It's like, damn, this dude has a Lambo, I want to be homies with him. Versus like, damn, this dude, we have the same upbringing, we got the same values, we're interested in the same things. Like, bro, I'd way rather be homies with the second guy. The fourth thing I wrote is set input goals. Don't set output goals. You know, an output goal is like, I'm trying to reach 10K followers, or I'm trying to do X amount of revenue, or I'm trying to get X amount of views. You should just have input goals. An input goal like, I just need to post this amount of times per month, or I need to post this amount of videos per week, or I need to do this many call to actions in my stories, or I need this type of variety of content. Output goals, just again, those aren't going to serve you. I like the quote that's like, you know, you won't rise to your goals, you'll fall to your systems. Create systems out of input goals for your content, and you'll be way more consistent, and I promise it will actually lead to the output goal. And the fifth thing I wrote down is you just gotta be like your true self. Represent your true self, whether it's your personal brand, whether it's your actual business that you're speaking for. This might be controversial. Bro, how do you say that? Controversial? I'm gonna look that up. That's kind of embarrassing, bro.
Controversial.
Brother, that did not help me. This might be controversial. I would honestly say that, like, I think at least your personality and your story, like your story, I think is more important than your actual offer. Because at the end of the day, your story is your offer. Your story, personally, or your business is the reason it is offering what it is. That's really the majority of what you should be talking about, because that's what people are going to connect with the most. And I think I'm going to do a video like how to break down your story into content that people can connect with. Because I know it's hard. Like, obviously, you know your story, it's in your head, your brand story is in your head, but it's like, how do I really break that all down and make fire content about it? So that's number 5, is just your personality, your story above everything. Be your true self. You don't want people to like you for something that you're not. This is just what I have learned, my experience making content for my personal brand, other personal brands, and other businesses. I hope this was valuable in a way. I hope you learned something or got something out of this. If not, that's okay too. I'm gonna make that other video. I had that idea, how to actually break your story down into content that's going to connect with people and obviously convert as well. But thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it if you made it. Subscribe for more. That film that I'm doing for that restaurant will be out soon. I'm going to start posting on YouTube at least twice a week. Follow me on Instagram. You can get way more value there. I post every day. And let me know what questions you guys have about content. This is my game. I'm always learning about this. But yeah, I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.